Welcome, 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 everyone. It's week one of Funnel Fridays. This is the Bullioness, Dawn Marie, coming to you live from Laughlin, Nevada. And I am so excited and delighted you're all joining us. This is going to prove to be a very valuable training that's going to catapult your at-cost metals business to the next level. And I'm playing on that term next level because that's Antoine's team's name. So it works out perfectly. Grab a notepad. This runs typically for the training about 30 minutes at the most, and then we'll go into a live work session. So hopefully all of you have already downloaded the app, already set it up, but if not, it's okay. We will open it up for Q&A at the end. But I will say what we want to do with Q&A is not get into technical troubleshooting because we're not support, even though I will have my customer service manager from Rapid Funnel helping us with Q&As. We just want to go into questions like, hey, is this possible? How do I do this? That kind of stuff versus I put in a support ticket and I don't understand how to do this, because we won't be able to troubleshoot tickets. We're going to go through this for many weeks, and we have brand new training. And I just want to go ahead and introduce you. We'll go ahead and get started here. This is recorded, and it will be available within the app on the coaching section. Under the coaching section, there is a Funnel Friday module that you can choose from. So without further ado, we have a dedicated team from Rapid Funnel to help us with this app. We have an account executive named Jane Hagerman, and she's going to be doing the training today. And then we have Steffi. And Jen, where are you located at right this second?
Right this second,
I know you're mobile.
I am in Connecticut. Yes,
Connecticut. And then we have Steffi Raimondo, who is our customer service manager. She does the technical stuff behind the scenes, and she's out in the Philippines. And so really grateful. She's up really late in the middle of the night to help us. So that's our team. And every week I'll be here. I've been utilizing Rapid Funnel since 2017, fell in love with it. It has helped me to close over 80% of my prospecting. And I enjoyed it so much that I ended up aligning and raising the funds to create my own white label, and then was able to bring it to At Cost Metals when this all kind of just appeared and emerged back in November, and it was perfect. So I've taken the time to build it out, customize it for At Cost Metals, and I'm super excited because for anybody that has an opportunity to hit the pavement running while we are in soft launch, when we're just working out the bugs and everything, and to have a sophisticated program and software app available for you to share and showcase your brand, that's super exciting. So I'd like to introduce you to Jen Hagerman out of Connecticut. She is our Rapid Funnel account executive. Super excited to have her on board and teamed with us. So take it away, Jen.
Well, cool. I am super excited to be here and share some of the details a little bit about the app, because I don't know how much Dawn Marie shared with you or how many of you were on last week's call, but I have been in network marketing for 33 years, and I've been with the same company that entire time. I'm at the top position of that company. And the beauty of network marketing is such that it's allowed us, we spent 8 years cruising and living on our sailboat, and now we're living in our Airstream. And I work with a coach in network marketing, and he introduced me to Patrick, and I thought this is the most amazing app I have ever seen. And I loved it so much that Patrick and I had a conversation, and he said, why don't you help some other people learn how to use it? And so that's what I'm doing, which is a lot of fun. Still have my network marketing company, still growing there, but implementing this app and absolutely love it. And there's a whole lot of reasons that I love it. And we'll go through those reasons for over the next series of trainings that we'll cover. But basically, think of this app, if I'd had this 33 years ago, it really would have changed my mindset, and it would have changed how I was able to recruit. I think this is probably one of the number one recruiting tools that I've ever seen in the course of my career. And what this really does for you is it helps you just get not only yourself engaged in action, but your new team members. It really answers some huge questions that team members that come on board, or even prospects before they come on board, will have. And we'll just go through some of the aspects of it. And I just love this app. So I'm gonna probably go off topic a little bit and share a little more than is on the slides, because just it's a game changer for a network marketing person. So finding one platform that can do everything is a huge challenge. And as a leader in my network marketing company, I have so many other applications that I pay for. I pay for a texting service. I paid for an emailing service. I paid for multiple contact management services. And even paying for all of those services, which I was happy to do as a leader, big team, all that, had to sort of keep on top of things. There were still certain things that didn't translate. My new team wouldn't do those things. And so they were necessarily limited by what I was able to take on. And the other dynamic is that a lot of those platforms aren't specific to network marketing. Like my email and my texting, they cover a lot of other industries. And we are a very special industry with very particular needs. Quite specifically, what makes this fly is when the brand new person can be engaged in activity right away, easily. And what it makes it really fly for you all, and I know you're leaders because you're here, leaders are learners. And so you're right here and you're learning and you're implementing. And that means that you have the heart that it takes to build a team, which is awesome. Your number one challenge as a leader is 7 levels below you. What's that person doing when they have their questions? And there are a lot of other platforms out there that profess to take care of the people in our industry, but most of those platforms are built for people who are digital influencers. And I don't know about you, but I'm not a digital influencer. More to the point, the people on my team aren't digital influencers. And so a lot of the stuff that's out there, I just found it wasn't solving my challenge, because my challenge was the new person coming on board was basically saying, what do I do? Who do I talk to? What do I share? What do I say to them? Just how does this all, they were kind of bogged down in the initial mechanics. And quite frankly, I love my company. I've been with them 33 years. So obviously I love them, but the corporate didn't really have a good tool. The corporate was more like a library that housed a lot of things, and trying to create a tool where a brand new person from moment one can come in and say, oh, step 1, step 2, step 3, this is what I say, this is what I share, this is how I follow up. That was just a mind-bending thing when I saw Rapid Funnel, because that's what this does. And if you think about it, a confused mind does nothing. If you have a new person and you hand them 6 different ways to ask something and 15 different videos, I don't care how good the videos are, most new people are going to go, well, let me watch the videos, let me learn them all, and then I'll decide which one's right for this person and which one's right for that. And they just slow down and they don't get engaged. And you lose that window of opportunity where they could get engaged, they could take advantage, I'm sure, of fast start things within your company. And you don't want them to lose that precious initial enthusiasm to trying to decipher and learn how they should get started. And that's the beauty of Rapid Funnel, is it's just right there immediately, and it's free. That's the other part. They can come in, they can get started right away. They don't have another overhead. And the other really special aspect of what this app allows us to do is, yes, it's a tool, and tools are important for keeping us organized and keeping ourselves on track with follow-up and building for events and all the things that we do. But if you are, let's just say, a digital influencer, you're out on Instagram, or you're on wherever, Twitter or Facebook or wherever you happen to be. Yes, you can touch tens of thousands of people, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands. Everyone's got a different bandwidth, but those people are only one level, so to speak, that you're touching. The people that they know are a little bit out of your reach unless they become a fan of yours or start following you. And any of the other apps that I've seen that sort of help someone become a digital marketer or an influencer are really geared towards allowing that person to become that person of influence in a digital space, but that doesn't help build a network marketing organization, a team where the farthest level away from you is your biggest part of your business. And that's just such an important part of network marketing that a digital influencer doesn't, they don't have in their business. And so you need a tool that helps you work to both support that largest base, but also create that largest space. And the way that we do that is by authentically being able to connect with someone. And I read a stat somewhere where people are bombarded with something like 5,000 digital impressions a day, which is huge. How do you get through that chatter? You know, it's like overstimulating stuff. You go and open Facebook or Instagram and you've got 50 messages or notifications. And how do you get through that? If you open Messenger or you open your text or you open your email, the way you get through that is I know you. So you see how many emails or how many text messages or how many Facebook messages or Instagram messages from people you don't know. And then you see one from someone you do know. And it's that one that you see from someone you do know that's going to get opened. And because it's someone you know, they're going to open it, they're going to read it, and they're going to respond. And so that is a leverage that's huge right now. It's using the digital space, but it's combining it with human connections and relationships so that the networking part of one person who knows another, even if it's tangentially that you know each other, you have something in common that causes that person to read your message. Because that's the hard part about anything digital is how do you get them to read your message? And so the authentic aspect of what Rapid Funnel allows you to do is huge because your message will get read. And so the other aspect of this, I don't know how many of you have studied Jim Rohn, but Jim Rohn had a great saying. He said, you know, there's when you are asking someone how they're doing and what they're doing with their business, there's just one little box that they need to fill out. And that box is small because they only need to put one number in there. And that's how many new people they invited to hear their story this week or this month, whatever you're measuring. And there's a lot of fancy stuff out there, but basically what this app will allow you to do is a couple things. Keep the main thing, the main thing, the main thing, so that you can really help guide people because it's a lot of fun. If you're creative and you're bright and you're a go-getter, you're going to go look at new stuff and that is all fun, but you still want to keep the message very straightforward so that you don't lose the energy by sort of diffusion with too many different ways to look and things to go and do and share. And this app really helps keep your new person and yourself very focused on how many new contacts did you actually invite to hear your story, to take a look. And when you can measure that, whatever you can measure will get better, will improve, which is absolutely huge. And what we know from the industry and from the app for sure, but certainly from the industry, if a new person will reach out and make contact, if they'll just reach out and make contacts, we know they'll get some people who will raise their hand and say, tell me more. And if they get enough people to raise their hand and say, tell me more, you guys have quality materials that are going to tell the story. You've got a great group of leaders here on this call that will support you in telling the story. And the stories are on your app too. You know that if they hear that story, they're going to get some customers, they're going to get some team members. And as soon as that happens, they get a check. And as soon as they get a check, they believe that this can work for them. Because no one really questions that it's working for you. What they wonder is, can I do this? That's their real question. And this app will keep them on track. And the other cool part about it is that and I'm sure Don Marie's probably already done some of this, is you can make it a game. You can kind of make it like Candy Crush. You've got your leaderboard right on the front page. So you can pick and choose what you measure, and you can just make it fun to be reaching out and to be sending contacts. And so when that happens, then people stay more engaged. When it's fun and it's a game and it's just a contest and everyone's having a good time, it's a very different process than kind of who do I call? What do I say? What do I do? And here it's done for you. It's all loaded. It's ready to go. The other cool part is for those of you that do the pro, you can see the statistics within your team. So let's just say you have somebody on your team, or you see through those stats that you've got someone who's doing fabulously well with those initial asks. They're reaching out every day consistently. And for whatever reason, they're just not getting the engagement that they should. You've got the numbers where you can see, okay, this person's really engaged and it's just kind of fallen down. And then you can go and coach them. You can reach out and coach them. But before this app, and I'll just share myself as an example, unless the only thing I could really see was actual volume. And so I could see if someone was producing. I still can see if someone's producing, but that doesn't tell me who's in activity and wants this, but hasn't been able to figure out whatever they need to say or do or share to create the results. With this app, I now am not blind anymore. I can see, hey, here's this person. They're in a lot of activity. I need to go reach out to them because I could see the activity in the app, but there's no real volume showing up. So what's the disconnect? And I can spend some time and I can coach them so you can develop leaders. And this is really a business of developing leaders, finding the people who are hungry, finding the people who want it. And a lot of times, most of the time, you're blind to it. I'm not sure what your home office measures on their home office dashboard, but I know with my company, I can't see anything but the volume they produce. And so this app gives me that ability to see they're in action, and then I can start and coach them. And we do a lot here for you, and Dawn Marie does an amazing job for you. I mean, she's put together so much here. It's just super impressive. And I continue, Dawn Marie, to be wowed by your technical prowess because it's really top flight. But we're going to bring trainings and walk you through kind of how to use this, different aspects of it. I know we're going to do a couple of them today. You're going to make yourself, some of you are already using the app. A lot of you, I think, are probably already using the app. So you want to make sure you've added yourself to the app and you know how to do that. And then you want to set a goal where you're on that leaderboard. You know, think of that front page as basically Candy Crush or whatever game you like to play. That's where you're playing the game. That's where you want your numbers to be, and get to know who else is on that leaderboard. And you can interact and say, you know, okay, I'm maybe number 3 right now. Next week, I'm going to be number 2, and work on playing the game so that it's fun to mess around with that leaderboard. The other cool thing about that leaderboard is that it allows you as a team builder to look at that leaderboard and recognize people for the right activities, because it all boils down to how many times the story gets told and the quality of the follow-up. And oftentimes you can't see either one of those things except with this app that you can. And then, of course, you can personalize your app. You can, you know, put in all of your social feeds and links. You can just put your ID for your company in there. You can pretty much make it the only tool that you really need in order to build your business and then have the information that you want to share with someone else, which is absolutely huge. And so for a challenge, I know Dawn Marie has a couple specific things, but what we really want to ask each of you to do, and what, you know, you probably have some team members that are not on this call that you wish were on this call. So you can bring this information back to them. And then I would ask them, you know, nothing happens till ink strikes paper, right? So we don't really use ink and paper anymore or very often, but getting people in action is just such a game changer in terms of breaking the inertia. And so if you can sit down with someone on your team and just say, hey, right now, while we're chatting, let's just do 2 exposures. Let's just pick 2 people, send them your digital business card, or send them your ask, or send them, if you've already chatted with them, send them another piece of information. so that you really get them in motion. Because as you know, it just takes a while to get familiar with any new technology. And so the more that they practice it and the more that they do it, they can't break anything. And there's no harm in reaching out and just saying, can I share my new digital business card with you? You know, there's a whole lot of things that you can do just to get them comfortable with going through the app, getting familiar with where things are, how things work, and that comfort will change how much they interact with it to a large degree. And if they can send something that's trackable, then they'll see that the app feeds back and tells them, hey, this person opened your video and they watched the whole thing, or they may even message you right back, but the app is going to tell them. So it's pretty awesome as a tool. And then the next training we're going to cover is something near and dear to my heart, which is owning your database, because I have some horror stories about that. And this app is solving all of that. So we'll chat about that next time. But those are the only slides that I wanted to cover. And so I'm going to stop sharing my screen and turn it back over to Dawn Marie.
Can you go into what the difference is between an exposure and an engagement?
Exposures are really very simple. It's how many new people you reached out to for the very first time and asked to look at something. It's just a reach out. It's just, and it's not the third time you've talked to your neighbor or the second time you've talked to your brother-in-law or whatever. The app is going to only count as an exposure, one contact, one time. And so that's how it measures exposures. And that's really what we want to see, because, you know, we have someone in our organization who says you spend too much time with too few people with too little interest in or potential for the business. And it's real easy to get slowed down by the maybes or get slowed down by the people who say, well, yeah, you know, I'm thinking about it. That's great that they're thinking about it, and this app has a great way to follow up and keep them in the loop and keep you in touch without you having to work like a dog to stay in touch. But what you want your team to do, and what you want, frankly, want to do for yourself, is make sure every day you are creating a new exposure with a new person. So that's what an exposure is, and the app measures it brand new. They've never been contacted before. An engagement is someone who actually opens what you sent them. And Steffi, you can chime in here because I'm not quite sure how much they have to finish. I believe they have to finish watching the whole video for them to count as an engagement. Or if you're sending them a survey, for sure, they have to answer the survey and submit their name and their email and their cell number if that's what you're asking for at the bottom of the survey. But the cool thing is the app will track that for you. So you're not faking yourself out. You know when someone has actually accomplished a task. And more to the point, this is one of the hardest things about this industry. You send someone, you have a conversation with someone, they seem so excited. You're like, oh my gosh, they just get it. You send them a piece of information, crickets. And then you follow up with a text. You have no idea. Did they even get your text? Did they even get your email? Did they even get your voicemail? Did they watch the video? Were they able to open the link? You know, you're just sort of shooting into a dark cave. With this app, it's amazing because the app tells you they got it. They opened it. They watched the first 30 seconds and stopped watching, or they watched the full video. You will get told what their action is, which just puts you in such a better position in terms of who do you follow up with and how much time do you spend with certain people. It really helps clarify for you where you should be spending your time. And you're not going to be spending a lot of time spinning your wheels following up with people who haven't even opened the email or haven't even opened the text or watched any of the video. It helps you decide who to spend time with, which is huge.
That was amazing. And you are doing fantastic, getting everyone fired up. Thank you so much, Jen. Really appreciate it. What I'd like to do is first just go through a quick demonstration, make sure they're all set up.
Perfect.
And how easy it is to send out their business card. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. And at that time, we'll have you raise your hand. But when you first open the app for the very first time, you're going to see a welcome video that's like 1 minute long. And then it's going to move you into the import wizard, where it's going to ask you from your mobile app. And by the way, this is available on desktop, but the mobile app is what this is all about, because you're going to be mobile, out and about. And so all the features are available on mobile, whereas on the desktop, there are limited, or it's a little bit, it just looks different. So the robust app is on the mobile. So do your best to use the mobile app. And so it's going to ask you to at least import 5 people when you first, open up the app for the first time. And I just want to stress or whatever that it's not going to send anything out to anyone automatically. You actually have to initiate that. So don't worry about that. So after you have done that, now you're back at your home screen. I just wanted to show you something that's super important that you do to make sure that your join link is connected to the At Cost Metals website. So at the bottom right here, there's a more button. And this is where you're going to go to update your profile, upload your headshot, make sure your landing pages look really pretty and are populated with your information. At the very top here, there is a settings button. You're going to click that, and this is where you're going to go to do all that. And as you can see, this is a sample account, so I don't have everything filled out, but you can see you have a whole bunch of social media, and this is where you will be dumping the actual URL for your channels for each of the different social media platforms here. But most important is the second one down that says ACM referral code. That's where you're going to type in just the word, not the URL, just the word. In my case, it's Bullioness. So you would just, let me just do it. You would just put in Bullioness. So if you're putting in the whole URL, it's not going to work. So you want to do that. The rest are social media. And what this Upline Success Coach is, for those that are more technically challenged or maybe aren't going to be checking as often, you can put your Upline Success Coach's email in here, and they will receive notifications and emails every time some of your prospects have responded or engaged. And so they're going to get everything that you get. So that's what that's all about. You don't have to use that. And you might definitely let your Upline Success Coach know if you're going to do it, because they may be confused. It will notify them. It'll say, hey, Bob's prospect, Tom, just watched this video. So remind Bob to follow up with Tom. So it's like a little babysitting thing. It's really cool. So it probably won't apply in most of the cases, but it's a godsend when it is important, when it fits. And then just under account settings here at the very top, this is where you're going to go in and you're going to add your email, phone number, and time zone. You need to make sure your time zone is correct. That way all the events are going to be showing up correctly for you. So go in and make sure you have the right time zone. And then, let's see. I know they were having a bug with the country code, but you should also make sure next to the phone number, let me see if this works with, okay, choose your country. Because that way your phone number will show up properly on your landing page. Okay. Now here's what I just wanted to show you, how easy this is to send a business card out and what your business card looks like. So if you go under contacts and you want to send this to a specific person that's trackable, you're going to click contact first. And then I'm just going to grab this first person here, and I see I have two buttons at the top, event invite or send resources. I'm going to click send resources, and you have a ton of things that you can send out. We'll go more through this later, but I want you to know while you're waiting, play with this. Click on all these preview buttons, watch them. Make sure that you are familiar with everything that we have in our resource library. But at the very top is your business card. And if I wanted to send it to this person, I would just check it. And then I would have three options at the bottom. And I want to show you this middle one. Now, I am on an iPhone. So if you are on an Android, you're going to get a little different look, but you can see the sample verbiage. And if you don't like the sample verbiage, then just delete it, except this is the key. You have to make sure that that's part of it, and that is trackable. So don't click it yourself. Once you send it, do not click this yourself if you're sending it to a contact, because it's hot. That means it's going to be tracking. So you will get a false positive. You'll get super excited. You'll follow up with them and say, hey, I saw that you clicked it, and yada, yada. And they're going to say, I didn't, because you did it. So this is what it shows just for this one. And let me just show you what it looks like for those that weren't on last week's with the Rapid Funnel CEO. Did an amazing kickoff. He went through a lot of stuff. This is what the business card looks like. So we have our background with at Cost Metals, and then your headshot will go right there. Your name's right there, and your information's here. And if you have your social media links in, then you would see all the icons for the different social media. And then we have added 10 buttons. Now on this one, it's not showing up, but on yours it will. We have 10 buttons of the most popular resources in our library that we feel are going to be the most important to move people to a call to action to join. And when you click that join now button, oh, this is forgive me. This is a sample, so I can't, the buttons aren't live, but if I actually clicked on this again, and I do exactly what I told you not to do, and I click a hot link, you will be able to see what it looks like. Now, we encourage you to add yourself to the app so that you can send yourself everything, and you can see what everything's like and have the experience of being the prospect. So once you put your at Cost Metals referral code in that field I showed you, when they click join now, it's going to connect to your at Cost Metals sign up right there where it says enrollment code. So you don't have to worry. If this shows up wrong, it says referral code is like enter your referral code, then you know you didn't do it. You need to go back and make sure it's correct. Okay. So I think what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and see if people have questions. And I haven't been watching the chat. Jen, do you see any?
No, well, Pastor White has a question, and the one question that someone had was, how do you get the app? And Steffi has been on it, and Colin
Oh,
has a question.
fantastic. This
So
is what's so wonderful. Guys, this is the
we got lots of
support
hands raised.
is so valuable because we as leaders, we need to stay focused on IPA and mentoring our group. And we're not trying to become rapid funnel experts. So having this support system is priceless. Okay, so we have some people that's raised their hand.
Yeah, we
Let me
do.
go.
So
Oh, fantastic.
you got
Let me open that
4
up.
that I can see.
All right, so Pastor, I'm going to unmute you now. So go ahead with your question.
Well, I have a couple of questions. My first question is for Jen. That background by itself got me utterly excited. Is that a real background or is that a
That we
virtual
live
background?
in our we yeah, I'll give you a tour. We live in our Airstream.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
Okay.
this is we're living the Airstream life.
Beautiful. Okay. So yes, I've been to the training last week and I'm so excited to get my team. I have one or two of my team members on now. And I set up my rapid funnel account last week. Um, I just found out that I set up my referral link wrong because I put in my whole link. So you're saying that we need to take out the whole referral link and just put in our username just to
That is
confirm?
correct. So
Okay.
under ACM referral code, it's just the name, not the link.
Oh, I've been sending it out all week, so I'm gonna have to start all over again.
No,
And
no, no, you don't. Just go fix it. Just fix it.
oh, I mean, yeah, but to the I sent out a few like I
If you
sent out a
fix it,
few.
then it's going to, anytime they click on it, it's going to be at the, go to the right place.
Okay. So now with our business cards, I I had noticed that you had there was a link to the business card. Do we just give out that link or do we just or do we give out
That's slow.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out how exactly
Oh,
are
here we
we
go.
gonna market this because I'm a full-time marketer also. So I can only market this on my phone or can I use some of the traffic resources that I have?
Oh, you could do it from the desktop, but you won't be able to text message people from your phone on the desktop. So
So I
you
can
will
use
be
both ways.
limited to email
Yes. Okay.
and
Yeah.
social
Yes.
media.
Okay. Okay. So like, like I just name some of them like Hercules or affiliate marketing. Like, would I be able to market this um system on those type of platforms?
I'm not familiar with those platforms. Jen, are you?
No, I don't know what either one of those are. So, but when you're saying market this, what you're talking about your at cost metals, correct?
Yes, because I have, I have lists where I can send out to like 10,000 or 20,000 um each day. So like I wanted to know um is
Well,
this
you certainly can, again though, what makes network marketing so powerful is that authentic sharing. What gets you through the noise is that there's a connection there. So, I don't know what your game plan is. I don't want to say don't do it because you can do it here, but you want to be doing something that gets your piece opened
yeah.
and that's usually a more personal touch, but you might have a system in place. So I'm not sure exactly what your company's doing because I'm not in your company. So if you've got a system in place that's working, this will handle your contacts, this will handle your follow-up, this will handle sending the information, letting you know whether they've opened it, which is huge.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna use both platforms. Now, my last question is, could you show us again, like when we have, because I know when I set it up over the phone, I didn't want to import my whole list, so
Or
I only did one manually. Can you show
Oh,
us
yes,
how to do it manually in the background?
absolutely.
Okay.
And
And
what
thank you.
Patrick, the CEO, was saying last week is I pay attention. I don't have I don't know how to do the whiteboard. I'll study that this week. But in this case, the contacts are just two in this account, two exposures, two engagements. So I got 100% engagement percentage on this under the statistics box it's showing. So what Jen is saying is if you've got some large 10,000 contact file, there is an advanced way to import that, but we're not about just shotgun approach. So you're going to grab 10, 15 of those, import them, and work those until at a time. So we had someone today that had their email campaign turned off because they weren't letting people know that they were adding them to our fantastic email campaign. And so what was happening is their opt-in rate got too low, which is, oh, I need to log into the other one to show that. Let's go back here. So if your opt-in rate goes below 10% because no one's opting into the email campaigns, then you're going to need to make sure that you are alerting people as you're adding them. So this is not going to work for 10,000 at a time kind of thing. You're going to have to import smaller chunks. So let me show you what he's asking, how to import from your phone if when that first step, when the very first time you logged into the app, maybe you closed it out. You can find the import wizard under the contacts button. Oh, I'm sorry, under the plus sign here. And then at the very top, it shows import. If you're on your phone, it's going to pull up all the people in your phone, and all you have to do is click on who you want to add. I'm not going to do this right now, but you would just see once as soon as I click on one at the top right, it shows import, and that's going to import their information. That's as easy as it is.
So I went to the contact. Let me see if I can do that again. So I'm at the home page, and you
And
said
click on that plus sign at the bottom, right in the middle.
Okay, I've clicked on that.
And at the top right, import.
Okay, and when you agree to allow access to you, we will okay, and click agree. Allow rapid funnel to access your contact. So once they
Yeah,
so
you
they
have to
said
agree to all the things that they ask you. And by the way, all those notifications and settings that they're asking, just say yes. Because if
okay.
you say no to something, then you're not going to be alerted.
Okay, I see it. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you so much, Pastor. Let's go to Gianna. What question do you have, Gianna?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Hi, thank you. This is great. I'm pretty tech savvy and I'm in other network marketing companies, and this is such a game changer. So I'm super excited. Thank you for doing this. My question, it's probably pretty simple, but even though I do a lot of tech, it takes my brain a second to connect with what you just did. And I'd like to add myself as a contact. If I heard you correctly, add ourself and then send ourself that first or our business card or whatever, that first thing to get that link to make it live so that we can test. Is that how you said?
Yes. Just at the bottom here, manually add yourself. So click the plus sign and then put your name in. We'll say John Doe. Just for right now, let's pretend that's your name. And what's beautiful about this, you don't even have to put the phone or email in, but if you want the full experience of using those methods to send yourself something like the email campaign, etc., then you want to type in their email and your phone number. And then once it's in, let me discard that for now. Once it's in, then you'll be able to click on your own name and send yourself the event invite. And by the way, there, as we mentioned in the Telegram group, there was a huge rapid funnel migration to a new platform last week. And as Patrick mentioned, that he's the CEO of Rapid Funnel. They thought it was going to be a smooth transition, so they did not do the beta testing, and they learned the hard way that it was riddled with some bugs. So they have been diligent to fix all that, but there are some things that are still they're working on. And so one of which is the calendar. So if you log in, let me just go to the very beginning again, and you click on a contact and you open up the event invite and you do not see anything on the calendar, there are things there. It's just a bug. And I found the workaround to be if I swipe right to the next month and then swipe back, then ta-da, they're back. So then you would just click on whichever one you wanted, and you can send this to yourself. That's just an event, but if you were asking about a resource, so you can do whatever you want. I also want to show you guys really quickly under send resources, in addition to your business card, which has all the buttons on it, not all the buttons, but the 10 most popular. What we recommend is after you get permission, you want to start with this. And basically, these are your openers that say, hey, can I send you something? They give you permission to send it to you. If you choose any of these 4, this starts you at the very beginning of a video series of over 9 resources in the video series, so that as they're watching things and you are sleeping and they keep clicking learn more on your, let me show you, on your landing page, they're going to advance through a series of videos and the product pricing page.
It's getting a little chillier.
Pick the wrong one to open. That's the survey. Okay. So this is an example of one of the top 4 peak things that you could start them with. And this would have your information on it. And you just click learn more, and that's going to advance you through.
Someone just needs to mute themselves.
All right. Thank you so much with that.
Oh, John Marie, was that your pup?
That's my Pomeranian.
Oh, then you don't have to mute your pup.
All right. So let's go ahead and unmute Vin.
He might be frozen. I think he's unmuted.
Vin, are you there? Go ahead and ask your question if you'd like. Otherwise, we'll come back to you.
Now he's muted.
Okay, Colin, you're next.
Oh, greetings. Thank you, Jen and Dawn and all on the call. Thank you ever so much for the presentation, and also Dawn for sharing this with us. Absolutely awesome product, and it's great for people who just never done this before, and to engage. My question is, if you have somebody with the same email, for instance, I send one to a person with the same email, and Jen, you sent one to the same person that email, will they both go through to the individual?
I'm not clear on the question. Can you elaborate on that just a little bit?
Okay. Right. Harold, example, and I know Harold as well. So I send him an email, and likewise you send him through the app. Okay. And so will he receive both?
That's a question for Steffi. Steffi, does that question make sense to you?
Yes.
Or Dawn Marie, you might know the answer. I'm sorry.
I know the answer. Okay, yes. Okay, so if there's 100 people that are trying to get this whale of a network marketer in the business, and they all are sending him the same thing, yes, he will receive it. All of them.
Okay. Right. Then thank you very much for that. Then can we go back to looking at whether that can be stopped, that only once that email can be accessed by the system? Is that possible to build in?
Why? So my point is that I don't think that's manageable, because
literally, so that I've got access and I'm the first person to send these prospect that email and using that email, and failing that, they would have to come up with another email, then they're going to receive it.
Okay, so let me just say this. There are lots of different theories about recruiting, but the bottom line is I personally did not say yes to the very first person that introduced me to At Cost Metals. That is each person's prerogative, because the very first person that introduced me to At Cost Metals, I did not have a relationship with. Had never worked with them before. And so I chose somebody I wanted to work with. And so I'm sure that's why they've got it set up however they want to set it up. It's not the first person to get to someone that typically is who that person chooses. It's whoever they feel comfortable working with. So
Okay.
that's not
Or maybe
something
the
we can
system.
control as
Okay.
the recruiter.
Okay. Or maybe the system can recognize that email has been used before, and individual has to find another email to be used for the system to accept.
So Steffi, can you put in where he can go and add request a feature ad? Because that is something that, they could look at.
Yep. I have taken
Okay,
note of
thank
it.
you
No,
so much
no,
for that
thank you.
question.
No, thank you, because I have that in something else going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin.
Thanks so much.
Okay, so let's go with Billy. Billy, if you have your question, go ahead and ask now.
Yeah, the one question I had was about editing the referral code, and I think that I got that answered. I had the whole link typed in, and then I changed it. I just put my last name, which first letter was capitalized, but when I hit the edit button, when it changed it, it left my name in there, but the first letter went back to a lowercase. Does that matter?
No, the at cost metals user referral code. I prefer the name username. That's how most people identify with things, but
Okay.
they like to call it referral code. So the referral code is not case sensitive. So, like for instance, if you typed it all lowercase when you joined at Cost Metals, but you prefer to capitalize a few of the characters, you can do that, and
All
it'll
right.
still work.
Okay, and then I was playing around with it a couple days ago, and I sent resources to like 9 different people, or I thought I did, but only four people actually. I think it's only 4 that I actually sent it to. It shows that I had 4 engagements or 4 exposures and 4 engagements, so it showed 100% engagement. But the other 5 people, I don't know what happened. I didn't. Are you supposed to click the check box on the left hand side in order
Okay, well,
to?
let me show you how you can find out. If you click on the contact themselves, there's these tabs right in the middle: details, notes, tasks, activity log. You could click to the activity log. I keep choosing things that are not available. And you'll be able to see if you sent something to them. Forgive me about these dogs. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
And
it just says not assigned. What does that mean?
that you, oh, that's the active campaign. That's the email campaign.
Oh,
So
okay.
that means you haven't added them to the, we
Yeah,
have one.
I just sent the survey, um, in the part where it says to ask for permission.
Okay. Well, what I would do is, if you're not showing that they didn't do anything for their activity log, go ahead and send it to them again. Make sure that you're going through once we get off this Zoom, anytime you have a question, just go to the coaching section at the bottom menu. And
All
then
right.
under the very bottom one is AvNav app training. And you can choose how to send a resource just to make sure you're doing it properly. And that's what I would recommend.
Okay.
If you're doing it properly and it is not recording them, then open a chat or open a support ticket by going to the more menu item and then clicking the support button here, and then either clicking on chat, open a ticket, request a call back. Those are your options, or checking FAQ. That's the knowledge base.
Yeah, when I added contacts, it entered every one out of my telephone, and
Interesting.
I'm not sure why the other 5 people didn't get it. I must out of.
Oh, remember what I said? Just because it imports them does not mean nobody else got it. I'm sorry, I'm not speaking clearly. Just because you do the import wizard, it does not automatically send anybody anything. You have to initiate that one each time, for one at a time.
Just add the contacts one at a time then.
No, you can import as many as you want, but it's not going to automatically send anything to them. You'll then need to click on the contact and send whatever you want to send them, the business card. And each time you do that, that URL is going to be unique and trackable. So it's not going to be the same URL.
What about the Facebook and all the social media URLs? I have no idea what my URL is for those.
So what you do for social media, if you want to post it, like I'm posting the events and I'm posting all the different videos. I love the documentary that we have for the end of the road. Instead of going to the contact, you go directly to the bottom menu item, resources. And then let's say you want to post this on your social media, that documentary I was talking about. It's under follow-up. And there's a 9-minute segment, or at the bottom here, it says full documentary. And if I click that, and I just pick the one in the middle, you're going to be able to see some sample verbiage. And then you're going to be able to, if you don't want that sample verbiage, maybe you want to use something else, just copy this and then open up your Facebook or Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and then post it here. And write whatever you want. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you for your question. Okay, let's see. I'll have more next week. I'm sorry?
I'm sure I'll have more later.
Okay, well, we'll be here every Friday for Funnel Friday. What is opt-in status in web dashboard? So that has to do with the email campaign. So if you've added people to the email campaign, at the time that you've added them, it's really important that you let them know that they're going to be receiving an email and they need to opt in. And if they do not opt in, if you're just adding people to the email campaign without letting them know ahead of time and they're not opting in, then that's going to reduce. They have so much time, like maybe 24 hours to opt in. And then it's going to start reducing your percentage and you're going to look spammy. Rapid Funnel has to protect themselves. And so the best method is I'm talking to someone and they say, you know, this sounds interesting, but not right now. And you say, can I keep in touch with you via email? And so they say yes and say, okay, right then while you are talking to them, whether it's through messaging or live on the telephone, you want to hop on your Rapid Funnel and add them to the email campaign and then say, okay, will you check your email real quick? You should have received an email from me to opt in. And I'm just going to periodically send you some emails regarding precious metals. And that's what these are. These aren't specific to at cost metals on this email campaign. They're just telling people what's going on in the world of precious metals and why they need to start accumulating it if they aren't already. And then we always have a little blurb at the bottom, special to at cost metals, that we're like the lowest one out there. So that's going to entice them to come to you. And right then they click that opt in and bada bing, you know they're in. So that is the best way to do it. Try not to be tempted to be adding a whole bunch of people without their consent, because if your opt-in statistics go down to 10%, you're not going to be able to add anyone again. And then what you'll have to do is contact each one and ask them to opt in and resend the opt-in, which there is a button that you'll be able to do that.
He's asking how to opt them in if they say yes. They actually have to opt themselves in. They have to click something. So the language that Dawn Marie was just sharing is the language. It's just, hey, look, the timing's not right for you. I get it. Is it okay if I stay in touch with you via email? And if I see something super interesting that I think would be of value to you, I'll send it your way. And then right while you're talking to them, you just say, hey, I just sent you an email. Just open your email and just click on it. That way I know your phone or your laptop knows that, not to send me into junk mail. And that is how they get brought into the system. So it's something they have to do. It's not something you do for them, if that makes sense.
Let's go ahead and wrap it up then. It doesn't look like we have any more questions, and this is perfect timing, so I don't shut this down.
Yep.
But I really appreciate y'all joining us for our very first week 1 Funnel Fridays. And Jen, remind us, what is their homework?
Your homework is put yourself in the app for sure, and then send yourself your digital business card so that you get comfortable with how to do that. And I know Billy, you'd asked about a little bit about social media. All of your social media links you can find. Just if you don't know how to find them, just Google, how do I find my link, my address for Facebook? How do I find my address for LinkedIn? How do I find my address for Instagram? And there will be a little tutorial on Google showing you how to do it. And you just go to your page and copy it and paste it and put it into your digital business card. So put yourself in the app, send yourself your digital business card. And then if you can put a couple of other contacts in there in the next 24 hours and send your contacts an invite to take a look at some information. Just get in the habit, get started with actually inviting people to take a look. Do step 1. That's the beauty of your dashboard here, is you've got step 1 outlined right there, and you've got some great resources right in there, so you don't have to struggle with what to ask or what to do. So I'm excited for you guys. I think you're going to have a great run, and this app is going to make a big, big difference for you with your business and your team building, because it empowers a new person to come in and get started right away. So thanks for letting me share some info with you all.
Thank you again, and until next Friday, thank you for joining us. Bye for now.